we'll just get right into it. First stream, and we're gonna generally just talk about some of the things I've been seeing online, about general misinformation about the weather, for the polar vortex that's coming up, possibly, and really long-range snowstorms that are definitely probably not gonna happen. So we'll first start off with the Climate Prediction Center here. Definitely cold weather is on its way. So if you were enjoying these 70s and 60s, especially in the Northeast, things are gonna heat up, or things are gonna cool down pretty quickly when we get into the new year. Um, that's our 6 to 10 day outlook. And looking at our 8 to 14 day outlook, there is gonna be a huge cool down in the East Coast. Possibly some record temperatures, going really low. So it will be a bit crazy. Let's take a look at the dynamics of the setup here. We're going to take a look at our anomalies here of temperatures. As you can see, this is progressing, getting closer to New Year's Eve. Cold air comes in from the north in Canada and dives straight down, really cooling things down. Let's see if we can get, this is like the high temperatures for January 7th, which is really where the Climate Prediction Center is saying where all the cold air is going to come from. So lots of these are the high temperatures, 20, and then especially up in the Midwest and upper Midwest. Plenty of negative numbers for high temperatures. And then continuing onwards, which is where we start to get a little bit out of the trueness of the forecasting area, we start to see some ridiculous numbers. Some negative 23s for the mornings in Missouri and Kansas, and really cold in the Northeast. So the cold is definitely coming. The question is, what about the moisture? I mean, so I'm seeing a lot of posts online about big snowstorms that are about 300 hours out from models. And then just before we go into the snow, if we look at it in the bottom left here, our really decent long range out, 3 to 4 weeks. More cold trend in the east and warm trend in the west. Now let's look about the snowstorm potential. Choose here. Go all the way back. As you can see, this current system that's in the northeast bringing some rain into the area. There's gonna be another follow-up clipper, but not enough really cold air to bring anything substantial. And you can start to see we get the cold air in place. And really, I've been seeing a ton of posts about this potential storm. As you can see, we're on January 6th, so pretty far away from really any time that is generally close to where we're at, and we're not too good at predicting things that are really far away. So I definitely say, the setup is going to be there. The cold air will be there. It really all depend on where it sets up. If we go back, the model consistency from run to run is kind of there, but it really is going all over the place. So definitely have to wait a little bit longer to tell if there's going to be a major snowstorm. I saw some posts today about snow in Florida, and I just really don't know if that's going to happen. It definitely could, but not even close of a certainty. Looking at our precipitation, we are favoring some higher precipitations in the areas where the cold air will be in place. So the potential will especially be there for the Northeast, but southern areas, you cannot guarantee snow in this area until we have a really good, a closer look. We got to stop posting really far out models. But I think for certain we can expect some really cold temperatures, especially in the center of the country. And let's look at some other models here on Pivotal Weather. Let me pull these up. So we can look at the Euro here. See what it's generally thinking too. Because the GFS, which was the model we were just looking at on the other website, does show a lot of systems move through, but we'll look at this one that has been showing some decently big snowstorms. As you can see, really the cold air wraps behind this next system. This is like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. But the cold air won't be in place, but after that, you see there will be a lot of cold air across this area, and then really all depends. See, here's a track where it's, I mean, we are going out 180 hours here, so not too close, almost a week out. To snow in just north of Georgia and South Carolina. The potential will be there, but if we look at our model consistency, um, the only problem is we're just so far out from anything certain. So, really, we just have to wait to see about big snowstorms. That was the big point of this kind of test stream. Is cold air is on its way. So this is the most impressive thing. Is we're 8 to 4 day outlook, and we're seeing 80 to 90% confidence of below average, and I'm almost certain these will be very below average temperatures, possibly some record. But again, we're 8 to 4 days out, so to know about the record or the dynamics, we are definitely gonna have to wait a bit to see if anything will happen. I'm trying to think if there's anything else interesting going on. If you have any questions, you can put some comments in. The last thing we'll look at is some upper dynamics of just the way this polar air mass is going to come from. We'll look at the anomalies here. So this is today. Got some merging in the right next to the Arctic, and you can really see how we're gonna get cold air. It's gonna be kind of zonal, and we're gonna have this nice little ridge build up here, and then you can see lots of cold air is gonna sit right across the upper levels here. Yeah, and it's gonna sit there for basically as long as the model, I feel comfortable getting the models out. This is pretty far out anyways, but for upper dynamics, kind of gets a sense of how prolonged this cold air is going to be here for. It's going to be here for a decent amount of time in the new year. If we look, there's jet stream here. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to be set up for storms, I'd say. Lots of waviness in the jet. But we'll definitely have to wait for a little bit more information closer to the time to see if any big winter storms will happen. Okay. I'm gonna just leave it for a second. If you have any questions, I'm gonna take a quick break. 8 to 4 days is at. So that's what the Climate Prediction Center is predicting here. And it really depends. I mean, the cold air really penetrates pretty far south, as you can see. Right there is probably the coldest it's going to be. And that was from earlier, the -20s. And remember, these are just air temperatures. There are no wind chills at all in these. So if you have even a light breeze in these, it can be very dangerous. Cold temperatures. Alright, I think that's going to conclude the quick test run of the weather discussion. Yeah, go over that. Actually, I did think of one more thing to go over. We'll take a look at the hazard lookout here. So these take into account seasonal temperatures. So this is like dangerous cold air for the area. And as you can see, we have our slight risk for when I was highlighting when the polar air mass will be coming down right across this region here, which is not surprising. It'll be coming in and then diving down here, right west of the Appalachian chain. Probably keep most of the really, really cold air right in here. And then the other part of risk we have is northern Florida, where if it gets too cold, it could do damage to a lot of infrastructure and other types of movement things. So that's the risk they're saying for temperatures, dangerous temperatures. And then if we look at our snow, this is kind of what they're highlighting here. This was actually issued 2 days ago, so it might be slightly outdated. But basically, when the cold air is in place or around this entire region, any precip that will come across has the risk of heavy snow. So you can see the general flow of risk for snow. None of these really highlight a specific storm that may happen. I mean, it's just highlighting the fact that if we get any moisture up here and it's very cold, we can see a decent amount of snow. Just I say we are a little bit too far out from exactly seeing what's gonna happen. And then for a little bit of wrap up here, the rest of the season. Ooh, let's click on that actually. Where did we go? The rest of our season for temperatures, rest of winter can be actually a bit of opposite what we're seeing for the next 2 weeks. Really cold in the northwest, and then warm across all of our east and south areas, which is pretty not not showing what we're gonna see for the next couple weeks. And then for our precip outlook here, we got some pretty defining features of less precipitation in the south, and the northeast might get hammered with hopefully snow. I'm hoping snow if that cold air stays in place. But if it leaves, then it's gonna be rain. But I want some snow, hopefully. And then lastly, we'll take a look at our January temperature outlook. This is, oh yeah, this was issued a while ago. So this was issued 10 days ago, and I don't think we were really seeing the full model runs of the polar vortex. I believe if once they do an update on this, I think actually 2 days from now they should do an update on this monthly temperature outlook for January. We might see a really different picture because the East Coast is just gonna get tons of cold for at least 2 weeks, and that will sink down the overall monthly temperatures. The West might see a little bit of an increase of the prediction. So that's a bit outdated, but for the precip, I mean, kind of similar to our seasonal one, dry in the south, and some bullseyes of possibly above average moisture. All right, I think that's about it.